fantasy, caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see.
I'm Josh.
I'm Liberty.
I'm Alex.
I'm Dawson.
And I'm Abby.
And today we are reviewing Bohemian Rhapsody. Welcome back after an 11-month hiatus, Abby Elliott. Dawson, it's also been a while since you've been in a review, right?
Hi.
What'd you guys think of this movie?
I really liked it. I don't know why it got so many bad reviews.
I felt like a lot of it was repetitive in some of the scenes. Freddie Mercury is late and drunk. I get having that multiple times in the movie because that's a big part of his character. But at the same time, I felt it was maybe just a little too much in scenes that didn't need to be there.
People were saying it was dragging, and I honestly didn't feel that.
I mean, the end of the movie is literally just 4 songs in a row.
But that gives the feel of the concert.
It kind of becomes less about the plot and more about just being there in the moment.
Also, it gave a perspective that I never really had before on all of those songs. The first, slow part of Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions kind of mirroring his death.
He learned from his own art.
I think they did a really interesting thing with Another One Bites the Dust.
Yes.
Where they were showing all of the moments while the song was playing.
Freddie, this song is way too disco. That's not Queen. That's not how Queen does it.
You know what's Queen? I am Queen. You are nothing without me.
Let's go!
He walks merrily down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of his feet. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip to the sound of the beat. Yeah.
There were a lot of scenes with cool transitions.
Oh, this editing in this movie I think was really good. And the use of lighting as well. There was a scene with Mary. They were kind of discussing his sexuality. Blue light was showing on her face, and he was standing in the middle of the room with a red lamp on him, and it just kind of showed the difference in personalities. If you haven't seen our Battle of the Sexes review, that movie was less of a sports movie, more of a lesbian movie. And this movie was more of a story about his life and less of focusing entirely in on his sexuality. I feel like that was a better balance than Battle of the Sexes. And I've heard people complaining they don't show Freddie Mercury's sexuality enough or how it affected him with AIDS. You don't need to.
And they were also trying to go for a PG-13 rating.
I loved the band members.
The chicken?
The chicken cut!
No. Higher. Higher.
That was literally the exact same note.
Higher. That's it.
There were so many laugh out loud moments in this movie.
They knew what they were doing with this
Oh,
movie.
the editing. The majority of these comedic moments were due to how they edited it, like the Galileo chicken, like when they're performing in Live Aid.
And they panned to his old producer.
That was like, no one's gonna know who Queen is without me.
And he's just sitting in his office
listening to it.
Although I do want to say, one of my friends from college, Paul, shout out to Paul, he said that he thought the movie should have been weirder and more experimental to reflect Queen's experimental music style.
I feel like there was a substantial amount of weird in it.
I see where Paul's coming from, but I think that it may have taken away from some of the story almost. The movie didn't have really one feel for me, and I felt that was more Queen than anything.
I will say though, this is definitely a movie. A lot of scenes do feel dramatized up for the sake of drama.
Paul is a snake.
He is.
Oh my God.
Paul's a
I
snake.
hated him.
College
Paul. And when he forced Freddie to go solo and he's suffering the entire time, I was like, oh my goodness, just fall in a hole and die.
Take that, College Paul.
Hate to break it to you, but I've signed a deal of my own. I'm going solo.
Freddie, we're a family.
We are not a family.
It is a good investment.
Shut the hell up! No one cares! You are a bad influence! You are a bad influence!
All the relationships, to me, they just felt super genuine. So there's a quote that I thought of from BoJack Horseman, 'Cause I'm Trash. Everyone loves you, but nobody likes you. And that's the loneliest feeling of all. And that's just what I felt when we saw Freddie at his lowest. Everyone who actually liked him, he was pushing them away. And that's actually super relatable.
How have we gone 18 minutes without talking about Rami Malek's performance?
I've loved him since Night at the Museum.
Oh, frick yes, that museum was fine. It was Rockman Rock. There is no direct correlation between Night at the Museum, iRobot, and Bohemian Rhapsody at all. So that just kind of shows that he is such a good character actor because he can make himself be all these different characters.
I saw a clip of some of the actual members of the band. The drummer's name is Roger. I can't remember the guitarist's name.
You just watched the movie on...
Do you remember his name? What's his name, Dawson?
Come on, Dawson.
Is it... Hold on. Keep holding on.
We'll look it up, and you're going to tell me what it is.
Dawson, you have no poker face.
He's trying.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Brian May. Saw a video with Roger and Brian talking about meeting the guys, and they were like, these guys have perfected us. And I think that's the biggest compliment those actors will ever get.
It's just not Queen enough. Is this Queen enough for you? Come on, Roger, what are you doing? It was a good song! Roger, stop! Roger, grab the coffee maker!
Oh, also, costume design.
Bringing costumes that was so
Perfectly captured each of the characters, and the accuracy was insane.
I want to be an angry lizard now.
Okay, should we wrap this up?
I
Sure.
assume.
I really enjoyed this movie, and honestly, this was my favorite live action movie this year. I enjoyed all of the aspects of the movie, lighting, costuming, Minra. I didn't think that it had many issues with it, so I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Ooh. I'm just gonna read my Letterboxd review if that's okay.
Check out Josh on Letterboxd.
Yeah, follow my Letterboxd where you can find all of these reviews for movies that I see immediately after I see them. Bohemian Rhapsody may take a solid 45 minutes before it finds its own voice and really gets to the story that it wants to tell, but once it does, it's beyond worth it. It may follow a generic biographical template, but it delivers on exactly what you want it to, and it provides fan service from beginning to end in the best way possible, so I will give it an 8.
I really, really liked this. I somehow related to it despite the levels here. Me being down here, Freddie being up here. Everything about it I did enjoy. I don't know how to do these final verdicts things.
That's okay.
You say a number.
I know how to say a number.
1 out of 10.
9.
Oh wait, before we
Nine,
move
you
on,
happy?
Wait.
Alex Crymeter did register this time. I gave it a 1.5 because I
Alright.
shed 2 tears, realizing that most of those lyrics pertain to his death. Got to me a little bit.
And then there were 2.
Dawson?
Abby?
Hey, I'm the newest you can go.
Heads or tails? We're flipping the lens cap.
Tails.
Heads. It's heads.
Okay, Dawson.
Wait, that's heads?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Dawson, you go then.
I really liked this movie. I like how they incorporated all of the music into the moments and things along that line, and how the lyrics related to like what was going on, because you know the lyrics related to their life and stuff. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5. It did real good.
So Bohemian Rhapsody was a beautiful movie. I truly felt moved throughout the entire thing. Like I said before, I feel like this movie really represented Queen. Despite it not being, you know, super weird and super unique, I didn't feel there was one mood throughout the whole movie. You went from happy to sad to excited to jamming. It was everything. I felt that the actors truly embodied the characters. I felt very moved by the movie, and I thought it was a really, really good movie, and I'm gonna give it an 8.
Wait, did Lauren send me? Lauren
What's up? Back in my room again. So, solid movie. Really good. Gonna give it an 8. I thought this movie was really good, but the only reason why I'm giving it like an 8, not like a 9 or 10, is because I don't know how accurate it was. And I mean, it makes sense because how are you supposed to fit everything that the band has done into 2 hours? For the time given, like, I thought it was really great. But I don't know everything about this band. I'm not like a diehard fan. I can't really give it like the full rating without like knowing everything, I guess. I'm gonna give it an 8. And it was really great, and I loved it, and it was super funny and like really good. Go watch it.
Currently, the final verdict is an 8.6. If I end up adding Lauren's rating in, then it could change. Whatever is right here is the final verdict.
What did you think of Bohemian Rhapsody? Let us know in the comment section down below.
Subscribe, hit that bell.
Peace out!